Do you love a relaxing day, drinking wine and eating cheese at a vineyard? What if I told you you could do this with an immaculate view of the Douro River and the terraced hillsides of Portugal? Today, I'll show you how to travel to the Douro River Valley without paying for an extra tour guide or a guided tour, and I'll give you some money-saving tips to have an amazing experience. This is truly one of my favorite day trips from Porto, and I would not miss visiting the Douro Valley if you are planning a trip to Portugal now. I had this vision in my mind for a while that I really wanted to see those lush terraced hillsides in the Douro Valley and experience the climate and food there. The Douro Valley is about a 1.5-hour drive from Porto, and we were staying in Porto itself. I researched some tours and found one that said it would take you on a Douro River tour. I thought this meant that you would go on a boat all the way up the river to the Douro Valley and come back on that boat, but it did not. It actually meant you would go in vans for a 10-hour trip and just take a riverboat there for 1 hour in between as you saw the wineries. I wasn't super hyped about the idea of getting on vans and twisty-turvy roads, so I decided to plan out a trip of our own. At $100 each, I thought I could also save some money along the way and spend that on some nice wine and cheese, and I'm glad I did. Here's how you could plan a self-guided day to save some money. First, I went to Comboios de Portugal's official site to buy a train ticket from São Bento station in Porto to Pinhao. Note that there are discounts if you buy in advance, and also discounts for certain age groups like people under 25 and seniors. At the end of the online checkout, they have a drop-down menu and you can select which discounts you qualify for. Just be sure to bring your IDs for the conductor who checks the tickets. They will verify that you qualify for these. My ticket was only around €16 with the discount round trip. My dad's was around €20. This train ride is touted as one of the most scenic routes in Europe, and it only takes around 2 hours. You'll want to sit on the right side of the train headed there and the left side headed back if you want to see the beautiful sights of the river right from your window. Once we were at Pinhao station, I already knew we were in for a treat. The surroundings are absolutely beautiful. We do have to get over these tracks first, but I've never actually walked over train tracks, so this was a new experience. But behold the sights, we already get to see some terraced hillsides, which was my main goal, and it's already stunning. We've arrived in Pinhao, and it's beautiful here. There might be a slight issue though, is the place that I thought I reserved said that they're full for today. So I have to figure out if there's another wine tour we could get into. I tried to book here since it's only a 5-minute walk from the station, but they said they're full. A big mistake I made was not booking a tour for a winery way further in advance. I had submitted a request and got it just when we were on the train that we could not visit the winery, even though I had submitted the request a day before. These fill up so quickly that it's best to research the wineries you'd like to see and book online for a spot to visit. Most do not offer walking tours because they're just that busy, and since we didn't have a rental car, I decided to visit the winery closest to the station, the Quinta do Bonfim. A brisk 5-minute walk away, the Quinta do Bonfim rests on the edge of the Douro River and has sweeping views. There's a small museum in the front that explains their history as a winery, and we were able to ask for a wine tasting and walk in, even though the tours were all full for that day. They have a spectacular history and patio out back, so I really recommend eating outside. It was also super easy to get here because it's so close to the station, so this is a great option if you don't want to catch a cab to farther ones. Also, they had free filtered water, which in Europe feels as valuable as wine to me. This is truly one of my favorite places in the world now. It was so calming and relaxing. It truly felt like an oasis. And this is not sponsored at all. I wish it was, because I would not turn down a bottle of Dow's 10-year tawny port. It was that good. It was very sweet. You can also opt to take river cruises while you're here, and there are many different wineries that you can visit in Pinhao. One thing I really like about Quinta do Bonfim, besides the fact that it's very easy to get to and these views are spectacular, is that they also have self-guided vineyard tours that you can enjoy after you do your wine tastings. Stay till the end of the video to see the beauty of the vineyards. Luckily, we're still able to do a tasting, and it's absolutely stunning out here. So we're gonna do a tasting and then probably the self-guided vineyard walk, but definitely make sure to book in advance. I probably should have done it even like a week before. But wow, it's absolutely beautiful out here. Okay. So this one, number 13, is supposed to
That's funny.
taste like how it smells when it rains, afternoon rain. Licorice and blackberries, currants. Another highlight of my experience at this winery is that the servers were very knowledgeable about wine. I know that it might seem kind of foo-foo when people say like, oh, it tastes like notes of oak and stuff, but when you're trying it, you could really taste the different notes they had highlighted. Absolutely a stunning location to have a wine tasting. The Quinta do Bonfim also has the DAO label as well, so we're trying a bunch of different wines today. The wine flights start at 25 euros, and these include a tasting of pre-selected wines. We decided to go for a choose-your-own adventure and just choose glasses that really interested us. I like this tailored approach a bit more.
It is the vintage Quinta do Bonfim, and this is the 30-year-old Tony. It's your first time trying ports? Yes? Okay. So, they are stronger and sweeter than the regular wine, than the dry wine, which is sweet, you know. So this one takes 4 to 5 years aging in the big vats in oak, and then was bottle filtered. So it is ready to drink right now, ready to consume right now. It doesn't have any aging potential like the vintage ports. So that one, it is Quinta do Bonfim, and it is a vintage, so it is bottle mature. It is from the harvest of 2010.
Wow.
It was bottled in 2012. So it's been aging inside the bottle for 11 years, and that's why it will be way more complex than the LBV. So we will lose the structure, the intensity of the fruits, the freshness as well. And this wine will acquire more spices on the palate and will be smoother comparing to the LBV, okay? More silky on the palate because of the aging process in the bottle. When we move for the Tonys, they have a completely different style. This is a 30-year-old Tony, which means it is a blend of different casks aging for an average of those 30 years. It's not from a single year or harvest like those two, but a blend of different barrels to try to achieve the profile of those 30 years. Because of the contact with oak for a long time, this wine will acquire this nutty flavors, the drier fruits, the caramel and the vanilla really present, and will be way more complex than the rubies because of the aging process inside the oak barrels. Okay, they suffer oxidation through the years, and we maintain more sugar levels. That's why it will be sweeter comparing to the rubies.
This wine was delicious. It was my favorite wine probably that I've ever actually had in my life. Not that I drink a lot of wine, but it was so good and so sweet and rich. And I also love that we got bread and olive oil because I just love bread. And the olive oil was so good, like you could drink it along with sumptuous grapes. The Douro Valley is also known for its olives, so the olive oil here is naturally very, very good. The Douro Valley also has a lot of microclimates, so much so that one winery can have and experience a bunch of little different changes in how their grapes taste based on where they're located. So good vineyard farmers will know this, and they'll know how to balance out a batch of wine based on what part of the terrace the grapes were growing in. I felt overjoyed to see these terraced hillsides. This is really the view and the idea I had in my head of something I definitely wanted to experience back in Portugal. This has been an absolutely amazing tasting experience. We even met a Swiss couple and spoke some German to them and learned a bit about their trip. It's been really nice so far, and the waitresses here are so amazing. They explain all the different wines and what they like about each one. Like they said, the one we ordered next has notes of like, imagine walking through eucalyptus trees. That's what it tastes like. I also ordered the white wine, which has notes of tropical fruits and vanilla and floral notes as well. So that's pretty amazing. And the view here is stunning. So. Also,
how many holes do you think are?
My brother's asking how many holes are in the saltines. I don't know, but they have a really amazing spread of food here as well. I absolutely love Portuguese cheese. It's a little bit stronger than like American cheese, so it's just completely delicious, and it pairs so well with the wine.
It's crystal clear, moves very fast, which means it's not one sticky kind of white wine.
Thank you.
Would you mind? And then look one thing, it's the way that it moves that tells you that it will have a different consistency. It will be heavier. It's just different, but it's actually a little bit more acidic, though it is, as I told you, buttery at the same time.
Thank you.
Smell it?
Whoa, that's so different.
Vanilla note as well. And then,
Vanilla almond
last
jam.
but not least, that's for sure.
I really enjoyed the food here. It's definitely more expensive than anywhere else in Portugal. I mean, the cheese platter was 15 euros, so it can be a little pricey, but it's worth it. I mean, you're getting the view, the ambiance, and the wine tastings and explanations. I also had an extra bread roll in my backpack because my snacks are packed, baby. So I may or may not have eaten that as well because the bread to cheese ratio and olive oil ratio, it was kind of off. So I was like, I might as well just eat my bread roll right now. Anyways, after that, we decided to see where the wine that we had just enjoyed came from. And this wine was so rich and beautiful. We had to see where it all grew up. So let's go on the self-guided vineyard tour. There are many different walks of different lengths, and also if you go a couple hundred meters more, there is an olive grove that you could check out as well, because of course the olive oil here is just delicious. They've been really generous. They said we can walk around the vineyards free of charge actually, and just do a self-guided walk here right through all of their beautiful crops. And it was just €8 if you wanted a hat, a water bottle, and some sunscreen, but we decided to just go walk around since I already have my hat that makes me look like a toddler, as my siblings say. And this view is amazing. It is just absolutely stunning here. The wine was really good, and I feel super grateful and happy to be able to experience this. And there are some nice little plaques to learn as well on the way. So it's not completely self-guided, or, you know, you get to learn stuff too as you're going. Pretty these are. So plump. Dang, we are getting into National Geographic territory here. There's some beautiful wildlife and beautiful landscapes to see. I was super inspired by this place. Like, I just feel like writing music about it. It's just a musical kind of place. I actually do write a lot of music as well. If you want to check that out on Spotify, I'm totally doing a shameless plug here. And I have a lot more videos about how to plan a trip to Portugal and what to see. I absolutely love Portugal. I think it's a beautiful country, and there's so many different regions. There's castles, there's art, there's these magical wineries. So see the playlist at the end of this video for traveling tips. This has been quite an amazing experience. I love the water. I love the vine walk. I did love the water. There was some free water, which is the most water I've probably had this entire trip, because water is not free in Europe. But it's been an amazing vine walk, and I definitely appreciate the art of making wine. I feel like a lot more after being here. I was more of a sangria girly before, but now I think I'm really into port wine, especially the one I had. Because it is sweet, it's not super like alcohol tasting, which is nice. But look at this. This is crazy. I'm just in love with Portugal. That's like kind of an annoying SoCal girl thing to say, but I mean, look at this. Fantastic. We are on our way back now, and on your way back it's recommended to sit on the left side of the train so you can still see this awesome river Douro view. Absolutely stunning. It's really close to the river, so you can see a lot of what's going on. Probably not in that blurry shot, but yeah, it's almost as if we're taking a river cruise in a way. So if you're cheap or you don't have time to go on a river cruise, this is a good alternative. You can just walk out. And this is considered one of the freest train rides in all of Europe. I had a British tourist hold my camera while I decided to do this cool little afternoon bike ride. I'll show you right now. I know that totally looks like a grown man, but that was definitely me getting crunk on the stairs. And then we saw this really cute dog and watched the sunset. After a little deliberation, we are back at Restaurante Chinese. I've been here actually like 4 or 5 times now. It's one of my favorite spots to go in Porto. But we're ordering something a little different today. It's just so nice to taste like different flavors after a while, especially Chinese food can be pretty pricey in LA. So it's delicious to come here and just eat a big feast. And there's a beautiful view. And I feel it's pretty rare to say like, oh, I'm eating Chinese food and I could see a castle in the background, at least a European castle. It's pretty funny. And it's not a castle, I think it's just a fort wall, but still it looks really cool. Good soup.
You might have to take some home. It's